Let's move on now. Sahel countries, particularly Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger, are severing ties with France to reclaim national sovereignty, escape post-colonial dependency and pivot towards new international alliances. Burkina Faso decided to cut diplomatic relations after conducting what it described as a comprehensive review of bilateral ties. France's influence in the Sahel began to decline several years ago following the failure of Operation Barkhane, whose stated objective was to stabilize the region and eliminate jihadist groups operating across West Africa. Relations between Burkina Faso and its former colonial ruler worsened after Captain Ibrahim Traoré seized power in a coup in 2022 and pursued largely anti-Western policies. The French Foreign Ministry called the decision hostile and unfounded and said it illustrated the troubling drift by the Burkinabe government. France also urged nationals in the country to exercise heightened vigilance. Soon after he took power, Captain Traoré expelled French troops. His government has accused France of having a secret agenda and pivoted towards China and Russia.
This situation is reflected, among other things, in the relentless actions of the regime currently in power in France against the interests of Burkina Faso, its openly proclaimed neo-colonial ambitions manifested through active support for subversive networks and terrorists who continue to plague our country and the Sahel, and the deceitfulness and bias of statements and opinions about our country aimed at turning it into a pariah within the international community.
The junta pledged to restore democracy in 2024, but reneged on this promise and formally dissolved political parties in January this year. In January 2025, Burkina Faso, along with two neighboring military-led states, Mali and Niger, officially broke away from the regional West African bloc, ECOWAS, to form a new group called the Alliance of the Sahel States. France has had no ambassador in Burkina Faso since January 2023. In 2024, the country expelled 3 French diplomats, accusing them of subversive activities. France denied the claims.
All we know is that if you want to break with these imperialist forces, it's simple. We denounce the agreements. It all starts there. I think the example of Chad, in any case, is palpable. They started by denouncing the agreements. Otherwise, if you don't denounce the agreements, just say that the bases are leaving, you've done nothing, because the problem lies in the colonial defense agreements that have been signed since independence.
In January this year, political parties in Burkina Faso were formally dissolved by the military government, which has also seized all their assets in a move analysts say is a major blow for democracy in the West African nation. Landlocked Burkina Faso is grappling with several armed groups which have seized control of land in the country's north, south and west. These include the Al-Qaeda-backed Jamaat Nusrat al-Islam wal Muslimin, or Jainin, and Islamic State Sahel Province, ISSP, which also operate in neighboring Mali and Niger.
Faced with these imperialist designs to dominate our country and subjugate our people, we have chosen the path of responsibility and sovereignty. The government wishes to emphasize that this decision in no way calls into question the historical, human, cultural, and social ties that unite the Burkinabe and French people. It concerns exclusively the institutional framework of diplomatic relations between the two states.
Once a significant power in northern, central and western Africa, France has seen its influence shrink in recent years, especially as many of its former African colonies, particularly in the Sahel, have distanced themselves and become more closely aligned with Russia and China. Africa Bureau, WION, World is One.